we left off with Jim Jones, who killed his whole congregation. I think it was 2,000 people, by putting poison in the Kool-Aid, and they were little kids that were killed. This was absolutely horrific crime scene that had to be investigated. Now, the third branch that the occult unit investigates is the economies of the occult. This is a widespread operation. There is a need for muti, for body parts. And oftentimes you have 4 components that fulfill this need. So that is the party in need. So someone, for example, who needs a job or needs to increase awareness of their business or needs to find love, right? So that is the first person. So these occult economies would not exist without that person. And secondly, they often go to the person who has the knowledge, who has the magical knowledge of what they need in order to fulfill their wish. So this person guides them and tells them, you know what, if you want to attract people to your business, then you need muti from hands or whatever. And the third is the person who commits the crime. Now, this person doesn't always have to do it as a motive for occult reasons. This person will often do it for basically just to get paid money, right? They just want to get their money and do a job. But it's still considered an occult killing because the motive of these people are both monetary and occult. So it's greed, and it's also the spirituality and the occult aspect. And then fourth, unfortunately, you have the victim. So this is the person who is often identified to be a candidate to fulfill this person's wish in the form of muti. And muti is a booming business. I mean, body parts 10 years ago, from the source I found, were going for $1,000, guys. That's like 20,000 rand just for one body part. It is an extremely profitable business, and this is why the occult unit is so important in investigating what is occurring. Like, I'm almost speculating now, this is me speculating, that the accused in Lekonofose, I think the motive might have been a hate crime, but perhaps he sold the body parts off to someone that he removed from her. Like, this is an extremely booming economy in South Africa. Now, a lot of you wanted to be part of the occult unit, so I went and did a little bit of research for you to see what you need. And what you need is basically, number one, you have to be Christian. That is a requirement. And the founders, Colonel Kobus Jonker and Dr. Colonel, I'm not sure if it's Dr. Colonel or Colonel, but I'll just call him Dr. Colonel Kobus Jonker and Dr. Brigadier Atti Lambrecht. They are both born-again Christians, and they believe that you need to have a very strong spiritual foundation because of the things that you are going to see. Like, you are going to see children killed in ritualistic manners. You're going to see children missing body parts. It is the most disturbing of the most disturbing crime scenes ever. And you need to have a strong spiritual foundation and a strong belief in Christianity in order to deal with this. So that's the first requirement. And interesting, in my reading, I found that there's also a similar unit in the FBI, but it's not as old as our one. And that one also, you're also required to be a Christian in order to become a member of that unit. And secondly, you cannot have an obsession with the occult. So everyone who likes to watch their ghost documentaries, Zach Baggins likes to interested in all different aspects of the occult, would not be suitable. And this is because it can cloud your judgment. As a detective in this unit, you are supposed to be impartial And you shouldn't let the occult or your fascination with the occult guide you and see things where there aren't things. For example, this is most notably known as confirmation bias. So you have to not have a fascination with the occult. So that is also a very strict screening process. And then thirdly, you need to pass a very intensive psychological exam. And if you have any underlying conditions, like for example, I have depression. So if you have any underlying conditions like depression, or if you have, for example, any other mental illnesses, you would not be considered, because the stuff that you see is apparently so scary that only 50% of detectives make it through the first year. The other 50% quit because they can't handle it. And also, there's a lot of people that in the unit that start using substances, unfortunately, in order to deal with what they've seen. And the unaliving by themselves rates are actually really high in this unit. It is probably one of the most difficult units in the police force to get into, and it's also probably one of the most difficult ones to work into. And yeah, and a lot of people were saying that the occult unit was disbanded, and I went to go do a little bit more research, and it was never disbanded. It just went underground, so it just became a little bit more secretive. So it's been operating in the peripheral for years and years and years. I hope you guys like this content. Let me know if you would like a follow-up video on how the occult unit differentiates a normal crime scene from a occult one. And also, most of you who watch these don't follow, so just please give me a follow. Thanks.